A Nigerian businessman has been brutally murdered in his own house by his apprentice, an 18-year-old boy, just because the businessman scolded this little boy for spending the night out on Valentine's Day. Now, this incident was said to have happened around the 15th of February. That is the killing itself. But the day before that was the day the whole problem started, on the 14th of February 2026. Now, the businessman by the name of Mr. Ikechukwu Inwete, popularly known as Mr. Ike, had opened his shop that day. This is a man who sells pharmaceuticals at a market in Onitsha area of Anambra State. So Mr. Ike has this big pharmaceutical shop in the market, but he has boys running it. And one of those boys was an 18-year-old boy, although some sources say he's 19, 20, whose name is Chiemere Anyeke. Now, Chiemere would have been among other Mwa boys, other apprentices. There would have been about 3 of them. And on this day, February 14th, the shop was opened. Mr. Ikechukwu was there during the day, but at some point he left to go hang out with his friends, trusting the shop in the hands of his boys, whom he had actually trained all the way up to this point that they could handle the shop themselves. By the end of the day, Mr. Ikechukwu came back home, and at this time his shop was already closed, so he was expecting to see his apprentices at home, his boys, to run him how the day went at the shop. But when he got home, he realized that one of his apprentices, Chiemere, the 18-year-old boy, was not at home. He asked the other apprentice and they said he went out, he went somewhere. And they waited and waited, and when he hadn't returned, Mr. Ikechukwu tells the Nwa boys, his other apprentices, to inform him whenever Chiemere returns from wherever he went to on that day. And somewhere around midnight, that is the 15th of February, around 12:12, Mr. Ike was informed by his boys that Chiemere had returned and is at the door knocking to get in. Mr. Ike was said to have gone to confront this little boy, yelling at him, shouting at him. It's unclear if he raised his hand to beat him, but it wasn't stated. But what we know was that he told him that he's not going to let him into the house and that he should go back to where he was coming from. It's not stated how Chiemere responded. However, somewhere along the line, everywhere went quiet. Mr. Ike went back to his room to sleep. Everybody went back to their rooms to sleep, including his sister, who was at home that day. Everyone went to sleep. Chiemere was the only one who would have been outside in the night at the dark, probably going back to where he came from, or in this case, looking around the house, hoping to find a way in, despite being told to go back to where he was coming from that night. And as the devil may have it, the 19-year-old Chiemere found a way into the kitchen through the back door. And while he was there, it's unclear and it's not stated, but somehow, some way, maybe one of the other boys figured it out and went to tell Mr. Ikechukwu that Chiemere was in the kitchen. And when Mr. Ikechukwu went to the kitchen to confront him, everywhere was dark in the kitchen. Before he would reach out to turn on the light to see the little boy and probably shout at him and beat him, he was smacked with a mortar pestle to his head. The 18-year-old Chiemere attacked his boss with the pistol, striking him multiple times and killing him on the spot. Now, it's not stated if the other apprentices were in the kitchen there with him, but that may not be the case, because after he finished striking Mr. Ike, Chiemere went to the bedroom of Mr. Ike's sister, Miss Success Inwete, where she was sleeping, and struck her in her sleep. The lady, who was fast asleep, had no idea what is going on. Even according to her own testimony, she did not even know this boy had issues with her brother. By the time she would wake up, somebody was hitting her with a pistol, and somewhere along the line, she held his hand, fought back, yelled, screamed, and got the attention of the other people in the house to hold down Chiemere. And this was the moment she realized that her brother had been killed in the kitchen. Now, some sources said Chiemere ran away and he was caught later. Some sources are saying the other boys in the house held him down, and Mr. Ike and the sister were rushed to the hospital after calling neighbors for help, who came to rush them to the hospital, where unfortunately Ike did not survive, but Success, survived. She was receiving treatment. So at the time of making this video, they said she's even not allowed to be on the internet because she doesn't know her brother is dead yet. But I think by the time this video is out, I'm sure she would have heard it somehow, some way. Because this incident happened around the on the 15th. Today is 17th of February 2026, so she should have or would have heard about it by now. The police was called. Chiemere had been tied down already by, the neighbors and people present. They held him down, waited for the police to arrive before they handed him over to the police. It was then mentioned that Chiemere had a history of being erratic, abusing drugs, violent, being rude, being disrespectful, staying out late. This was not the first of its kind. It was eventually said by the other workers there that Chiemere had been giving his boss tough time for a while. It could have been since the day he got there. Although some sources are saying he had worked with Mr. Ike for 3 years. So it's unclear when this behavior would have started. But towards the end of this tragedy, towards the moment of this tragedy, he had had a history of smoking, drinking, taking hard drugs, hanging out with the bad boys in the community. So it's not even as if he went to spend Valentine with one girl. It's possible he most likely did, because they say he steals from the boss, so he probably steals money. And since the boss sells drugs, he may be stealing drugs too to abuse it. And they also said that this was not his first time staying out late, and he had been warned on multiple occasions by Mr. Ike not to stay out late. And this time Mr. Ike was like, he's not going to let him in. It's really unfortunate, because a lot of people are saying that if he had had this behavior in the past and had exhibited this kind of erratic behavior of probably, because he can't just go from a loyal person to a killer instantly. I agree with people who believe that there's a chance that he has been showing signs of being insubordinate, being rude, being disrespectful. And those are the times where Mr. Ike should have let him go. He should have sent him back home. Since he wants to be a grown-ass boy who can stay out late, then he should go back home to where he's coming from, basically. But it's possible Mr. Ike kept giving him the benefit of the doubt. Mr. Ike kept trying to be a parent, and I think that is where a lot of adults miss it. If he's not your child, if he's not your daughter, you can't be the parent for them, especially when they are grown to this age of 16, 17, 18, 19. It's difficult to parent a child that you did not give birth to or you did not raise just because they are under your roof. And I think Mr. Ike was trying his best to parent him, because to be honest, left for me, I will let him in, come in, enter, sleep. As his boss, he will take the next boss back to Ebonyi State, where he came from, because we hear it's from Ebonyi State. He will go back home. That's it. Get paid. It's just easy. I think Mr. Ike kept dealing with his attitude, with his behavior, because somewhere he was hoping he would change. Somewhere he was hoping he would discipline him enough to get him to change. He would punish. But that doesn't work that way when it's a boss versus employee. That sometimes it shouldn't be that way. If he's an Unwa boy and he's not being subordinate and he's trying so hard to ride on you, he's trying to let you know that the two of you like get this house, that on Valentine's Day, if the boss should go out, he too will go out and go and spend the night with his fellow cultists, because I don't know who is sleeping with who. Other people are spending the night with their girlfriends. This 18-year-old was most likely spending it with his fellow street thugs, because it's unclear where he got this mind from. It's unclear where he got this thought to attack his boss. Some people are saying it could have been the drugs he took that got him angry. He's not the only person taking drugs. Not everybody. If drug is what is making people pick mortar pistol to kill everyone will be getting killed every day. Well, I mean, people are getting killed every day, but I don't think the drugs should be what to be blamed here, because he most likely just thought, since they've, when you put up with someone's behavior to a point, they start to see themselves as equal to you. And I guess maybe Mr. Ike has been lenient to the point where this boy lost his mind and forgot where he was. It's really unfortunate, because for me, I would have suggested that he would have just been asked to go way before now and leave and go back there. And you will probably discover that he's one of those people that did not even grow up with parents, probably abandoned, grew up in poverty, and this man is trying to give him a chance, because a lot of these Unwa boys are people being helped by their bosses who come from family with, nothing. See how his good deeds ended up killing him. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate.